And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. I am Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for this evening's show. Tonight is episode number 32, and waiting in our green room is our special guest for tonight, Mr. Greg Brown. Greg Brown is the owner and operator of Cotswold Collectibles since 2020. Before that, he was their marketing director for 13 years. He primarily collects Adventure Team Joes as well as Guyverman and Action Man, and also he's interested in customs like Mr. Mark Cole's Tripwire Toys, and Soldiers Through Time. As always, I like to give out a few channel plugs before we start the show. Toy Tinker Tim, if you're not familiar with him, check out his site, Toy Tinker Tim, and Law Creations. As always, I'd like to thank all my subscribers, and 3 of my newest subscribers are Drew Scoggins, Ronald Robertson, and Stefano Balanca, I think. So next week, our special guest will be Randall Wall. I know a lot of you guys know him. He is an artist from Canada, so he's done a lot of G.I. Joe artwork. So hopefully we'll get a lot of people tuning in for that show. The week after that, I got Frank May lined up. I know one of you guys, I think Jim Egner.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioned him. So we got him lined up for the week after. And the week after that, we got some guy called Ace Allgood. I'm not sure about him. He might be a pilot or something. So that'll be October 9th with Ace Allgood. So hopefully we get a lot of people in for that. Got some people in the chat room already.
Angelo's saying something about an echo there, Paul.
Yeah, is it my echo? I hear somebody's echo, but it's not me.
Check. Test.
Is it me?
Echo.
Is it me?
I was hearing that echo earlier before we started the show, just to let you guys know. But I don't have anything playing in the background right now. I don't have the volume turned up that loud. So, and it's not Mr. Greg Brown because he's in the green room. So,
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to put the blame on this guy right here.
Ah, crap. Really?
And for your introduction tonight, sir, some people call him a space cowboy, but we just call him the gangster of love. This is Jim Egner,
Also known as Maurice.
Yeah. Maurice, yes.
Next up, we have this gentleman right here. This man loves his vintage G.I. Joes like a fat kid loves cake. This is Mike Bowinski, a.k.a. Medic Mike. How you doing tonight, sir?
Yep.
We're doing great, as always.
Got one for you, too, brother, so don't be hiding in the corner. I got one for you, too. This guy is so buff he can lift a house. He just can't run around it. This is Angelo D'Annabelle. I figured you were more of a lifting guy than a cardio guy, so.
Yeah. Run only if being chased.
Just running from the police, man. Running from the police. And last but not least, we have this gentleman right here. This man may live in Vegas, but he's not a gambler. He's a stripper. This is Robert DeCastro.
Hey, take it off, Robert.
Take it off, Robert. Take it all off.
I got it off. You think I'm wearing pants?
Hey. Paul, you don't want to lose the show again.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, forgot about that.
I just got out of jail, man. Don't do this to me. Angelo, who do we got in the chat room, bro?
We have a gentleman by the name of Greg Brown, Cotswold Collectibles. He's ready to rock and roll.
I know that. That's the green room. I said the chat room. You're
Oh,
supposed to be keeping an eye on the chat.
I didn't know that was my job. These guys said that they were going to look at it.
Oh, Hank,
Yeah,
we
Jim,
can
we gave
help
him one
Angelo
job.
out.
We
Tim,
gave
we
him
got
one
Tim
job.
Cope in here. We got
I can't tell.
Blaze
Soldiers,
Case
News.
Soldiers Productions,
Skull
Skull
Reviews.
Reviews,
Skull Reviews is here. Hey, there he is.
Official Leonard Toy News,
Oh,
yeah, we got.
and some weirdo named Restream.
Restream.
I don't know who that is.
The Restream
We got
is watching.
Tim. He's from the great state of Washington. Thank you, sir. I know it's early out there.
I don't know if this is such a good idea or not, Paul, having us go through the chat part of it for you.
Well,
This could get
Yeah.
bumpy.
Don't ask me. I can't see it as it is. I don't have my glasses on.
One of you guys got to, three of you guys got glasses. What the hell?
Yeah, I got to do one of these things on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally illegible. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Robert, since you haven't been in a while, I'm going to go start off with you. What's new in your zoo, brother?
What's new in the zoo? I just finished half a dozen of these guys here.
Dude,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is freaking awesome,
That's
man.
cool, man.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, I've been working like a dog for that. I just finished shooting the video for that, but since I do voices and background music now, it's gonna take a little bit longer to finish it. But yep,
Dude,
It's
those are
in the
sweet,
can.
man.
yeah,
Have they hit the market
Yeah,
yet, or what?
hit the market.
Are they all pre-ordered? Are they already paid for?
No.
No.
Yeah, I wish, but the head doesn't belong to me. It's from a friend of mine, so
Ah,
I can't sell the heads.
gotcha.
Yep, but the rest,
Does-
there's a bunch
does-
of stuff in here is from Greg, though.
Yeah.
Boots, pistol, rifle, stuff like that.
Does your friend sell the heads? Does your friend sell the heads?
Well, the thing is, it's from a figure that he does. I just asked him to just
gotcha.
the heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I found? I found out just last night that the darn heads glow in the dark.
Oh,
Oh, no
sweet.
way.
That's cool.
Yeah, the light green parts. He must have mixed glow in the dark vinyl in there, so all the veins pop out and glow.
Oh, that's cool.
Now you're gonna do a glow in the dark shot too?
Yeah.
I don't know
Gotcha,
how.
man.
I don't know how.
Well, get him underneath a bright light. Turn the lights off. Put your camera on like the night setting and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. We'll see.
You might as well,
Yeah.
because that would look really wild.
Yeah.
Because I spray painted a couple of heads one time when I was flocking. I spray painted them with glow in the dark spray paint. Then I flocked them, and then I let it sit out underneath a light, and then I quickly turned off the overhead light, and it did glow, and I was able to take a picture of it. And it looks pretty cool. Really green. It was really bright. So you should be able to do something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, it freaked me out last night. I had a bunch of them in the bedroom and turned the lights on. I said, "What the hell is this? Why are the heads glowing?"
Yeah.
Angela, what's new in your zoo?
Well, yesterday was the first toy show. Terrell Ashby put on a toy show here.
That's right.
in
I forgot about
upstate New
that.
York.
Yeah.
And it was the first show that I ever did, and it was a fairly decent turnout. But because it was a toy show, not necessarily a GI Joe action figure show, there was a lot of people with Beanie Babies, and there's a lot of Lego, a lot of Star Wars. There were a few people into vintage GI Joe, but kind of what my thing is and what I do is kind of mishmash. So wasn't many people too interested in what I had. I was really trying to get rid of a 21st century radio control Stuart tank, and people would look at it. Oh, it's cool. No one would bite. Man, I had it down to $200, and no one wanted it.
Really?
I was driving it around. I had the machine guns going. I was shooting off the missile, and I was annoying the shit out of everybody. Because, I had it cranked up full blast, but no one bit. And I also had that big Humvee, like Robert has the brown one. I got the green one. It takes up too much goddamn space. So I'm like, I tried to blow that out for $200. Nothing.
Oh,
So there weren't any takers for that. To ship those things, you guys know they're monsters.
Yeah.
They're absolutely monsters. This little guy, people came over and they patted his head. They would pat his head, and he thought he was so cute. And I'm like, seriously, I had him with a nice set. I had him with a nice set to purchase with this guy, and I had a lion to go along with it. Nothing. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. So it definitely was not my show for things. But Robert, I know I'm talking. Here goes. Robert, I found this. It's all Robert's fault because some cool shit comes across, and it's all Robert's fault. This is the coolest thing. 1961 Thinktron. This sucker has the warranty card. The warranty card from Two Guys.
Wow.
I used to go to Two
Right
Guys
on,
all the
man.
time.
Look at that.
11/3/1961 warranty card has 300 little cards that you have to ask questions. And I was telling the group, they had a question that says, how many moving parts does the ICBM missile have? The ICBM missile has over 300,000 moving parts. I said, who the hell would know that? So there's this little card here, and this slides.
That's right.
This lights up. This little background lights up. I'm going to try to do a little YouTube thing on this, but oh, there, it did light up.
Yeah.
So there's a little card in here, and when I slide this in,
That's freaking cool.
it tells you true or false.
Or
and it's true.
multiple choice.
Yeah, and it's multiple choice, true, false, yes, no. So the question was, oh Christ, I can't see it. Whales cannot breathe underwater, and answer true.
Yes.
So on each side, it's two-sided questions. So this thing is really, really cool. I'm gonna, after I do the little YouTube thing, I'm gonna bring it to school and see how smart my kids are.
That's
Well,
your job to make them
1961.
smart.
The light bulb still works. 1961. It just blew my mind. I think it's the coolest thing. And Robert, I thank you, sir, because you're the one who turned me on to searching for that.
Hey, awesome, man. Yeah.
Jim, I'd like to ask you what's new in your zoo, but Angelo just took up all your
He
time.
took up all my time, so yeah.
Fuck that, Jim. Fuck
Thanks,
that.
That looks
Angelo.
like a new
Appreciate
tie. That looks like a new tie, and you look great.
All right.
Next question. No, hey, if you talk about anything, you got to tell people about that dinosaur behind you, man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the
Let me get
coolest. That's,
You want to talk about 3D printing? That's the freaking best right there.
that is the absolute
That is
incredible.
cool.
That is all awesome.
You want to tell people anything about that? Why you have it?
Oh, yeah. A few years ago, my kids dared me to build a Jurassic Park Jeep. And so I did. And so it was a lot of fun. I kind of collect Jeeps. So that was a lot of fun. And we needed a dinosaur to ride around with us. So when we went to parades or car shows or whatever. So
Was that one-to-one scale?
yeah, that's pretty much Raptor 1-to-1 scale. Yeah, for
Wow.
Raptors. So it's a lot bigger than you think. And I couldn't print the rest of the body; it was just too big. So
Yeah.
That was going to
that
be
took
my
about
next
6.5
question.
days to print, and a few hours to paint. So
Very cool.
That is so awesome.
thanks. It was a lot of fun. Y'all may or may not know that before I got into 1/6 scale stuff, I did 1-to-1 scale movie prop replicas, and I got a few of them around here. This is anybody recognize one of these?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
Graflex flash gun. That's a vintage from the 1940s. It's actually a functioning flashlight for cameras. So
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
No, that's right.
So anyway, once upon a time, I did something a little bit different than I do now. So
Man, dude.
anyway. What's new in my zoo? The local university here, it's had a 100th anniversary, so today's been a big party day at school. So I hadn't done a whole lot today. This past week or so has been just busy trying to stay up on some orders that have come in. It's unlike me to have a whole bunch of new stuff.
You're too busy fixing my Humvee.
I know, man. That gobbled up a huge amount of time.
You saved my bacon, dude. I'm telling you, man.
That was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
Sergeant Soldiers in the
Yeah,
house.
Sergeant
Oh,
Soldier. I
there
haven't
he
seen him in a
is.
while.
Hey.
hey, Jimbo.
Sarge. How you doing, sir?
And Medic Mike, what do you got new, bro?
Oh, just playing around with a little bit of something I haven't before. Done a lot of 6mm and obviously a lot of 2mm vintage flock. I picked up some really short flock here. I think this is like 0.75mm.
Wow.
Had a guy ask me for a short military haircut. I had the stuff laying around, so I've been playing with that, doing different stuff with it. But this one turned out pretty good. Kind of looks just like
I
a
like
painted
the
head,
look of
except
that.
for he's a little fuzzy. Want a closer look?
Wow.
Yeah. The only
you
trick
see the
really.
mark there.
Yeah. The only trick really is you just got to use a lot less glue. It took me a couple of tries to figure that out. It's like, oh, that's why this stuff keeps submerging into glue. Too much.
Yes, sir.
Did you
But yeah,
have
it's
to thin
coming.
the glue?
I just laid a thinner layer than I normally would for 2mm or 6mm.
Okay. Because you
Yes,
used
you don't-
two-part epoxy, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So you must have had to thin that down.
No, I didn't have to thin it down. I normally go 60/40 on the mix so that when it dries, it's a little bit rubbery and it's got some flexibility to it.
Sure.
But all I had to do was spread a thinner layer on the head so that the individual pieces of flock didn't sink all the way into the glue.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was so simple, but I didn't think of it until I tried it a couple times, and I was like, "Oh, duh!"
Man,
One of those
that's a
kinds
great
of
look,
things.
though. That's a
And
great look.
I've been doing some painting and stuff too. I'm sure you guys are
Oh, yeah.
familiar with these cases here. You
Yes,
get these
sir.
at Office Depot and place.
Yep.
I bought some Krylon, and it seems to work pretty good for these too. So, and then
Hmm.
of course you can see the MSV in the background there. I'm still messing with that. So that's
Very
what's
nice.
new here.
I just watched your video the other night. Last
Which
night.
one? The
Sure.
Sten gun?
The Sten
Yeah,
gun.
Sten
I
gun
watched
repair.
the Sten
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a dilemma. Didn't you guys know which one is the correct one for that SOTW bread?
had that one.
The Hong Kong or the Japan? I'll
Yeah.
have to ask Joe Zeta. I'm sure he'll know.
Well,
Yeah,
our special
everybody
guest
would
tonight
be-
might know.
That's
Yeah, Greg
true.
might know too.
He's a collector.
Michael, wait till you start doing beards with the 1 millimeter or
Oh,
less.
damn.
Oh
Hang
my.
on.
That looks pretty good, and that short stuff too.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah, brother. All right, get Greg on there before it's too
Well,
late.
I know I was going to ask everybody a question tonight, but we're already at 8:15, and Greg's already on a second beer there in the in his man cave. So I'm going to bring you in, Greg, if you can still hear me, and got a little introduction for you. Might take about 10 minutes here, but hopefully you're still with us. This man is a walking encyclopedia of G.I. Joe knowledge. He is a mystery wrapped with an enigma. He is a puzzle. He is a puzzle that can't be solved. He says he likes to think of himself as a limited edition. He's rare, irresistible, and definitely not for everyone. This is our friend, Mr. Greg Brown.
Yay! Welcome, Greg.
Hope I didn't offend you, sir.
Get used to it.
Yeah. He's seen my show before. He knows. He knows I'm just poking the bear, right?
Oh yeah, I've been sitting in a freezer for 2 days just to get ready for this one. So
Well, it's an honor and a privilege, sir. I've been hoping to get you on the show for quite some time, and I'm glad you could join us tonight.
glad to be here, Paul.
I know we got a lot of questions from people about Cotswold Collectibles and how you got started and all that, but I'm going to open it up to our panel first before I start with my series of questions, because I know once you start with Angelo and Jim, we're probably not going to get to too many other people. So, who wants to go first, guys? Who wants to go first?
Well, I've got to get this out the way. You guys don't know this. If it wasn't for Greg, my first robot toy may not have been made.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Greg was the guy that shared information on a factory I could use, a reliable factory, so that I was able to do my first robot toy. So, Greg, thank you, sir. I've not been able to thank you properly.
No problem.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
Hope he's still there. You didn't freeze up, did you, Greg?
He's looking a little on the blurry side there.
He's blurry, but he was still there.
You're
Looks like Sergeant Soldier
Cutting out
saying,
there for a
Greg! That's Jim Peacock for those that don't know.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to refresh.
Yeah,
I think we lost him.
Greg, you still there?
we might have lost him.
No, he's moving.
And okay, moved a little bit.
It's that damn satellite again.
Hey, Greg, if you can hear us, just log off and log back on. It's the same link, man. It'll refresh.
He's in the secure location. It's so secure.
yeah, it was.
No. There it is. He's back.
No, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah.
There you are.
Yep, I'm here.
Can you,
Did you?
No, I heard Angela
Did you
talking
hear the
about me.
kudos?
giving
Did you see?
Huh?
No, not me. I wasn't talking about you. Not yet.
no,
No, I've been
Okay.
being good. Robert was thanking you profusely for the robot info.
Oh yeah. No, I remember Rod way back in the and such like that, because he was like the guru on doing custom work and stuff, and so anytime he popped up, and for me that was an honor for me. And I'm
Jim, you got a question?
Connection.
I think we're having some problems down here in Texas.
Apparently,
Better not be,
yeah.
man. Greg, are you in like a secluded the bunker somewhere in Cotswold somewhere?
No. This was my office for Tina. Oh yeah, it's kind of
Oh,
like a bunker.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Cotswold from way back, man, when they still had those Xerox printouts that they send every so often.
Oh yeah, I've still got some of those somewhere.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah, you had to like it was like a lottery. You got to get through the phone. If you got through the phone and got Tina on, you'd be able to get your order in.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I remember when they launched the Elite Brigade.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Yeah, it was just the first news was the hands.
Mm-hmm.
When they said they were making hands, I was like, oh yeah. And then they followed that up with they were going to make the whole body, and I was like, what?
Right.
You know? So
When was that, Greg? Is that like 91, 92, 93, somewhere through there?
I think he's froze up again, man. I
man.
just text him to tell him to log off and log back on. So
All right, well, let's hope that works, man.
he said on it.
Scores.
We're gonna have to fill in.
Okay.
That's all right. I can go back to my original question I was going to ask you guys.
All right, go for it.
With the exception of my live stream show, are there any other live stream shows that you guys are part of or go to that are strictly geared towards a 1/6 scale collectors? Like I know there's a lot out there. I've subscribed to, I join them in, but nobody's 1/6 scale. Like I think ours is the only live stream show.
I don't know of any myself. No.
Yeah, most of the ones that I know that are GI Joe related are all like for the small GI Joes. Yep.
Yeah, the classified line has a bazillion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
know that,
like I
and,
like It's Chad, like he was on our show, but I mean he's strictly 3 3/4 scale.
Right.
Hooded Cobra Commander, he's got his own live stream, but he doesn't do any 1/6 scale. I mean, there's a lot of 1/6 scale guys like all of us here in the AOA and stuff, but I was trying to get more people to do more live streams with just 1/6 scale, and a lot of the older guys that older than us guys.
Jeff occasionally does live streams.
Oh,
they're scared of live
for
streams,
yourself. Oh, there he is. He's back.
His
There he
hand's
is.
back.
All right, welcome back.
Sorry, guys.
No,
you got a connection. I can see you clear.
Yeah, you're coming in better now. You got 4 green bars right now, so you're like the rest of us. So
Yeah, I kicked it off of internet and just went, whatever, phone.
yeah.
So better let Greg do all the talking now
Yeah,
until
I
it
know.
zaps out. And go.
So Greg, before we go any further, how did you get involved with Cotswold back in the day, like before you started working for him? I mean, did you?
It was gosh, man. Originally, I was in the Sandbox when I joined the Sandbox many moons ago, and somebody used to do the mass orders. I don't know if it was Coop or who it was, and then they stepped down doing the mass orders. So then I kind of took that torch and started doing the mass orders to get different Cotswold or Elite Brigade figure sets to get them at a discount. And so then I would take everybody's money in, and then I would place the order with Cotswold, and then they'd ship it to me, and then I would just basically take the brown boxes they were in and just tape them up and just mail them out to all the people who sent me money. And so that was my first relationship with them. And then off and on, I'd buy from them for different things. And then because I worked about 11 years in food seasonings, which is a very boring job, but it paid the bill. And then I went to go work for a roofing company and work in their customer service department. And then I wasn't even there a few months, and another company bought them out and just totally dissolved my customer service department. So I was calling around just doing contract work, and I called Tina Windler, who was the owner of Cotswold. And I said, hey, I did some design work for Brian Savage for the convention sets, for the 12-inch sets. Would you be interested in me doing some contract design work for you? And she goes, well, how would you like to run my entire marketing department? I'm like, okay. And so it was just, kind of like they say, one door closes, another door opens. And so I flew up to Washington State, had an interview with her. we talked about pay, and the pay was around $15,000 less than what I was making. So I called my wife and, I said, I see a future with this. And she goes, well, if you can see a future with this, let's go. I think we can do. So for a while there, it was kind of tight. We have 3 kids. They're all grown now. But I wouldn't change it for the world. If I had to do it again, I would do it over again, because that minute it quit being a job and it started becoming fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We can see that.
When you don't hate to go to work on Monday mornings, you know what I mean?
Well, I still hate to go to work on Monday mornings, but at least it's not so bad.
You guys got anything for him?
Well,
Where to start? Oh
Yeah,
my
I know
God.
where to
Oh,
start.
geez.
Where
I got something real simple.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
All right.
here goes Mick.
This is easy. This is just thanks. These things are great, dude. I really appreciate everything you do for the community and the stuff you provide, especially
Thank
with
you.
the repair stuff I do. The products you make are just totally indispensable.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. Especially those Talker shoulder cups. I don't know where the heck I would get those if it wasn't for you guys.
We that was kind of, we stumbled across those. Those are made by Joe DeGrella. I don't know if you remember him. And we had a lot of people that wanted those cups, and so then we decided just to kind of, I think they're like a 6-pack or something like that. So that was
That's
kind
right.
of, yeah. A lot of people love them, and we sell out of that stuff. I mean, people are always like, when are you going to be bringing back muscle body repair kits? We're like, we already have them on back order, because we operate lean and mean. I mean, we're by no ways a Hasbro or a Mattel. So it's like, once something goes out of stock, we immediately reorder it and then bring it back in. So
Okay.
We got a question from the chat room. Are you going to be at the Winterfest? I guess that's a Kentuckiana.
yeah, I'm not going to be at that one. I went to the show one time, and I love Steve. Steve's a good friend of mine, and Larry. It was just, man, one year we did like 8 shows, and I was dead after the year. And so this year we cut back, and I called Steve and I was like, listen, man, I still want to be involved with the Kentuckiana show, which I was.
Yeah.
And I love doing that show. But Winterfest, it was just like, man, we just got through Christmas, and we just kind of wanted to chill. So we ended up going up to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and just kind of chilling up there for a while. But yeah, I won't be doing that show this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, Logic Blaster just got on.
Yep. Logic Blaster said he loves your French Foreign Legion set.
That's a funny one. We work with, you guys see me touted every so often that we're really proud of our Made in America stuff. And the French Foreign Legion was a really popular Action Man set, so we tried to replicate it. So I have 2 women who work for me, who sew for me, and I sent her some pictures, and she just nailed it. And so that was, if you ever want to find somebody who can sew for you, find somebody who sews Barbie clothes, because generally they get it. Mm-hmm. And so I think we've probably sold 55 French Foreign Legion sets, and every one of those uniforms are handmade here in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. All
Those
right.
are not made in China. Those are made in the U.S. And what's really cool is if you get some of our sets, if you look on the tag, the jacket should say the Elite. That was the original name for the Elite Brigade. It was called the Elite. And when I bought the company, I came across a box of just those uniform tags. And so I gave them to the lady who sews for me. So everything now that we have, until we run out of those tags, is going to say the Elite on it. So
Well, fun.
How cool is that, man?
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's the favorite part about being a dealer?
Do what?
What's your favorite part about being a dealer? I know you're a collector too, but I mean the dealer side of it. We don't get too many dealers on here. I was just wondering. I mean, is it just going to the shows and stuff like that, or is it?
Well, for me, we do the DFW show, and we do the Louisville show, and then we do Atlanta, and we do Jolanda. And for me, those shows are like a family reunion. So it's not so much of a show as it is, hanging out with people.
Yeah.
I used to do the Hershey show. That's the first time I ran into Paul mano a mano, and it's just, we run it. It's like the whole group of people, like Ace Allgood and David Howard and Matt Stevenson and Joey Everett and everybody else. And some of these guys, I mean, hell, I met Scott Beckman back in '98 at the show in San Antonio. So it's
Yep.
fun. I just did a show this weekend, and it was called Retro Expo. It was up in Allen, Texas, and it wasn't as fun just for the simple fact that we only knew a couple of people were at the show. The other ones, it's like, man, you just go down memory lane. We go grab a couple beers, or we go to the restaurant and hang out. But so for me, being a dealer, to me, it's it's fun. To me, it's more like a vacation because I get out
Sure.
from doing the 9 to 5 type of stuff and just go chill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Jim, what were you going to ask?
I was just going to say, one of the more recent sets that Robert had done a review on was the Viet Cong outfit set. I was just wondering how that was going. Was that selling pretty good for you?
It's going good. In fact, I have to give you some praise for that one because I don't know who. I think it was on Robert's YouTube channel when he posted the video about it. I wanted to make sure I gave credit where credit was due. And this is something I firmly believe in, as I like to work with people around the stage. And on that particular project, Jim, I went to Jim and I was like, Jim, do you think you can make a conical hat? And Jim's like, yeah. And so Jim knocked it out of the park. The color was perfect and everything like that. Now then I realized, oh shit, I don't have any stick grenades. I'm like, Jim, can you make me some stick grenades? And Jim's like, and so Jim did the stick grenades. The lady who sourced for me, she does the pajama shirt and pants. And then here's a blast from the past, Firebase Ryan.
Going back a ways.
Rob is the one who did the satchel for that. And so I kind of sent him the specs for it. And so is it an exact reproduction of what the ones, if you compare it to like from Dragon or somebody, does it match that? No, but it still has that vintage feel, which is what I always wanted to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just did the carbines and such. And so that's the first one. And then we're already working on doing one that's going to have an AK chest rig. And then we'll be bringing back the AK-47s. And then
Awesome. I was going to ask.
Cool.
About that.
Yeah, and then we'll have the slouch hat or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Jim's kind of my secret weapon on some 3D printing, and I don't want to take away from Sean because Sean is like my Abrams M1 Abrams tank when it comes to 3D printing, but Jim is like my stealth fighter when it comes in because I'm like, hey Jim, I'm up to shit creek, man. Can you do this? And he's like, yeah, not a problem, And no, dude. I believe in. It's like to me. It's great to have a symbiotic relationship with everybody out there in the community because it just means we get more product out there. So,
it's a lot of fun working with you, Greg. I enjoy it.
Oh, and you're a fellow Texan. We already get along.
Got another question from the chat room. Greg said, "When did you start collecting, and what other lines do you collect?"
God, man. I guess I was born into it because when I was at an age when I could remember thoughts, and remember walking around, I'd already gotten I have two brothers that are 11 and 13 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
And I got their space capsule, I got their deep sea diver and everything like that. So I was already into it. Yeah. And then there was a local Gibson's over here, and I got Atomic Man, and I got Bullet Man, and I got Eagle Eye Land Adventurer, and then for Christmas I got the Avenger Pursuit Craft. And the Avenger Pursuit Craft is and always will be my favorite vehicle. In fact, I have all 5 variations of the Pursuit Craft. Oh. And I thought there were 4, which is the Avenger Pursuit Craft, the Super Joe one, the Action Man one, and then what was the other one? Action Man one. And then I found out that there was a French one, which is tan. And so then I thought, okay, now I have all 4.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the French one is tan. And then I was at a show, and God, I forget, Jeremy Hayes. I was talking to him about it, and I was like, yeah, I got all 4 of them, and I thought I was the shit. And then Jeremy had to just totally burst the bubble. And he was like, there's one from Mexico. I'm like, dude, don't scare me. He goes, serious, man. And so he pulls out his phone, and there's the one from Mexico, whatever the Adventuros, the Action, or whatever they're called, and they're silver. And I told him, I was like, man, whatever. I said, if you ever decide to get rid of that, let me know. And so I slowly started building one, and I was about 85% complete because they're hard to find. And he calls me up like 2 years later, and he was like, dude, you still serious about that offer? And I'm like, hell yeah. And he goes, well, I'm going to sell it to you. I'm like, he goes, and I was like, dude, I'm not even going to ask you how much. I'm just, I'm not going to haggle with you, and he still rides my ass about it, because I was talking about something one time. I don't know where it was at. And he was like, you can sell that back to me right now. I'll take it back off your hands. I'm like, oh, hell no, brother. I'm But yeah, I started collecting when I was a kid, and then, I grew up, and then I went to college. And then when Target started re-releasing the Hall of Fame ones, I started getting back into that. And then when I went to the 98 Joe Con in San Antonio, I was hooked, man. I mean, that was like the golden age, because he had like, you had like Augie Augie was there. Augie was there.
Romero, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Augie
Augie was
Romero.
there, and Polo was there, and Tripwire was there, and Firebase was there. Robert, were you there, or did they have just some of your? Because you were working with the guys that kind of like doing the SWAT stuff, and then they kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Were you there at that show or not? I can't remember.
No, I had some guys that was carrying like a couple of my sets, but I don't know. Yeah.
I actually made that show back in '98. Yeah.
Man, it was the show. I mean, of course, everybody remembers Plastically Anything and Cahoon Plastics. We were hired by those guys to build their dioramas. It was me and Andy Seitz and Tony Tillman and some of the other guys. And unbeknownst to us, one guy promised us that we could have the vehicles as their payment, and the other guy made promises to other people at the show they could have it, so they could have gas money to get back to. I think they were in Kentucky or something. And at that time, I was in charge of it. Tony was in charge of our group, and Tony kind of got up there, and so I think I got home with a T-34. Tony got home with a Hanomag. And I forget, Andy got home with something, but yeah. And then those guys blew up, and then those guys disappeared off of God's green earth. But yeah, that was.
I just remember they had this big tarp on the floor, and somebody brought all this Action Man stuff and just dumped it, and everybody.
Yeah. There was that one guy who just dumped crap on the floor, and people just start building stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
There was a couple of times they did that.
Yeah, they did.
One time, yeah, they just put that thing down and then. Just lay it all out there.
And I've never heard you this quiet before. I know you're.
I know. I'm giving. I don't want to take. This is Greg's. Time to shine. And,
I know.
And I'm just letting him, listening to him. It's amazing. I said when Greg mentioned, going to the bigger shows and seeing all the people that he's known throughout the years as a dealer and meeting them again. This was my first time at Joe Lanta. I've been wanting to get to the big show. To me, that was the big show. I know Toy Lanta kind of, is a whole different aspect, but the Joe Lanta being there for G.I. Joe was, to me, what it was all about. And then just to see all these people that you heard about or you saw online or what they produce or make and things, and seeing Greg there, it was a big deal for me, not just as a collector, but for someone else who does love the hobby as much as he does. And there were so many things that was interesting. The one evening there was a panel, and it was talking about what the status of the hobby was. And we were talking and listening, when Greg was talking or when I was talking, it was very similar. So a lot of very similar history. Like, even though we don't know each other, things that he went through, and his children are probably almost the same age as mine, and what he had as his first toys and whatnot. It was really neat. To hear that, and it was almost like that a kindred spirit. It was someone that I should have met a long time ago. So that is one of the big things about shows like Joe Lanta. So Greg, it was great to actually finally meet you in person. It's great to have you on the show. And I'll ask 2 questions, and then I'll be quiet for another minute because I just took up 3. The next one is. The YouTube, have you been, maybe I'm just missing it, have you been on doing any of the showcasing any of your sets?
It's funny because some guy got on there. My daughter does my videos for me. She's 26. She works for me begrudgingly. She has nothing to do with the G.I. Joe, but she monitors all the responses, and some guy goes, "Hey man, it's been 4 months. Where are your videos at?" And I'm like, she's getting pissed, and I'm like, calm down. But it was crazy because I did a video with Ace. Some of the most trafficked videos that we've done have been with either Ace Allgood or with David Howard, who coincidentally does our catalogs. And I'll answer questions on catalogs too, because I know some of the probably people going, "Where the hell are my catalogs too?" We just, we did a video with Ace, and we did a video on action, the different variations of bodies for G.I. Joe, Action Man, etc. And we got halfway through it and realized that Ace had forgotten about 5 or 7 figures. And so we both agreed, let's not edit this and put this out. Let's go ahead and reshoot it. He's going to come down in October with the rest of the figures, and we're just going to do it in one fatal take. We did do our first, what would you call it? A YouTube short.
Yeah, you did the shorts. I just saw that.
We did our first YouTube short. I told my daughter, I was like, my daughter has I'm not advertising for it, if anybody's looking. My daughter has a degree in like digital media and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get her to broaden horizons, get her portfolio going. And it's so funny because we're doing these videos, and it's like me, Ace, and David. And I don't know if anybody know, Ace used to own like a kind of like a film production company up in Minneapolis where they did commercials and stuff like that. And then David worked for an advertising agency for many years. So between the two of them, these guys have some really good experience with advertising, marketing, and filming. But my daughter, she doesn't see him like that. She sees him as that long-haired hippie guy. and then that other guy that lives down in Wimberley, dad's nerd friends that collect mandollars. But I told her, I was like, listen, we need to get back in the game. And so I challenged her to do the video, and I think she did a really good job on it. We got a lot of response on it. We're going to start doing more product showcases because, no beating around it. I mean, Elite Brigade and parts and retro themed items, that's our bread and butter. That's what keeps us afloat. Hot toys and stuff like that. Most people that are buying hot toys, they're shopping around, see who they can get the better price on. But and I love Elite Brigade. I mean, if you can't tell already, I'm an Adventure Team fan, so you're going to see a lot more Adventure Team. But every so often, we're going to put a military.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one, I promise I'll be good.
Whatever.
60th anniversary. You got any insight?
Next year.
Oh yes, that's a great
Here
question.
comes.
Yeah.
Now,
Get out
brother.
of the bag. Let the cat out of the bag. Come on.
Man,
Give a little bit.
it's funny. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. And it's not gonna just be something. It's gonna be some things. But we're definitely working on some homages to that. I just can't tell you what it is. I've had people come to us and then say, well, why don't you guys contact Hasbro and get the license and do something for the 60th anniversary? And I'm just like, man, it's no bad ill will towards Hasbro. I mean, hell, they brought us G.I. Joe. I gotta have love for them. But the creative process of being a smaller company is a lot easier than it is to be a bigger company. And so we're going to do, I would say, homages to the series. If we get it done in time, we're working with Larry Stellman again to do another set. We did the Battle of Yadrang. I always screw it up. Yadrang. Last year, Paul got one.
Yeah,
of the
I bought
set.
one. Yep.
And that one we worked with Larry, and Larry's a super great guy. And we worked with Bill Beck, who fought in that battle. And if you guys have ever seen We Were Soldiers, the movie, that's what the battle is based on. And so Larry and I have always had an affinity, a respect for the Vietnam War and for the soldiers that fought in them. And so we always wanted to do, we want to do Vietnam themed sets. So we've got two in the oven. One that should be coming out in probably very beginning of spring, and so that will probably there'll be that set based upon actual people, and I think it would be a 2-figure set. But then we'll also do a set from that that will be kind of a 60th anniversary homage to GI Joe. And then we're working with the DFW GI Joe Collectors Club, hopefully to do a set. And then probably I would like to do 3 sets if I can. Like I said, the first one will be Larry Selman. Larry would do the artwork. And if you're not, I mean, I know you guys probably know who Larry is. For those who don't, Larry did a lot of the artwork for the classic collection series of GI Joe, and just impeccable work and just beautiful work. I call him the modern day. Oh shit, what was that guy's name? He used to do all the artwork back in the 30s and 40s. I'll remember it later. But he's just really good, and he's very humble, and just a really nice guy to talk to. And but yeah, that's what we're doing. So, and as far as I've asked around, it's like, is Hasbro going to do anything? And I haven't heard a thing. I haven't heard a thing if Hasbro's going to be doing anything. I know for the 50th, they did some 3 3/4 inch figures, which was kind of weird, I seriously doubted that they would, I mean, and I hate to say that. I don't be the forebearer of bad news, but you would think it would just be. I mean, you would think they could just crank out those ones that they did for $10 back in the day. I mean, I bought every one of those bad boys.
Sure, just have something for the 60th. Yeah,
something, man. Just throw us a bone. But yeah, we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget. We'll be doing some stuff.
Yeah.
What was neat when you said you want to do the 3 sets, and what just made me think was if you did quarterly, and then you had like one for Christmas as the end game. If you had pieces and parts, like smaller sets that each had to do with that last set.
Right.
So you had, you know what I mean? So if you went Vietnam, if you had a component, whether it was a tent or was it a command tent or I mean, whatever. And then at the very end, here's the big reveal. So you had things building up to that big master set. Just thoughts. I have crazy thoughts.
You said you were going to shut up after your last question, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, can you just mute Angelo's mic?
I can put him in the green room, actually. I have the mouse, brother. I can do anything.
He has the power.
Poor Mike's not had a word in edgewise this whole show.
We got Greg less than 15 minutes. I was going to say, Mike, do you have any questions for him?
Actually, Angelo asked the one that I was going to ask, so that's okay.
Don't pump up Angelo any more than he needs, man.
I'm not pumping him up, man. It's like I was going to ask pretty much the same thing.
I was just going to ask. Go ahead.
Good.
Okay. New products. Do you have anything new or different coming up in the future? I go through your stuff a lot online, and I buy quite a bit of stuff. Anything new or unusual or different that's coming up that you can talk about?
Yeah. Well, if you haven't noticed already, we're trying to bring back some of the weapons that we haven't had in a long time. We brought back the M1 carbines. I guess those are technically M2s because they have the scabbard holder, the bayonet scabbard. M1 Garands are coming out, so we're going to be bringing out some of the older weapons as we can. We just did the German helmets that have been out of stock forever, so we'll be doing the MP40s that go with that. I'm always tinkering with Hugster on something. We did that. Curry. Yeah, we did that aerial recon set where we will be introducing an aerial recon in Major Matt Mason colors. We're going to be introducing a new scuba set that's going to have a a little underwater scuba thingamajiggy. What else are we doing? I'm sure I'll cook something up for Jim. At the last minute, as always.
I was going to say Brad Curry just joined us too. Brad Curry.
Yes. In fact, we're going to be introducing Brad's backpacks that he had for Atomic Man. But we sent him the hoses because our orange hose will not fit on the oxygen tank that he has. So we sent him that for resizing, and I've asked him, and I need to double check with them. I wanted him to put a little coupler on the side of the backpack to hold the hose and hold the mask. So we'll be introducing that to a broader audience on behalf of Brad. Sweet. And then I'm trying to remember what else we're working on. I forget more than I remember these days, guys. but yeah, no, we've always got things cooking. Oh yeah. We're trying to do an Action Man version of the U.S. Airborne set that they did. We're just trying to get the right color. And then we're working on, there's a couple of different Action Man sets we're trying to replicate. And then we're going to be, we'll be reintroducing the Santa Claus sets. I'm a big sucker for Christmas, guys. And so I don't know if we're going to be introducing some elves. We did Tactical Santa last year, and then we did the hover pod that was a Santa hover pod. So we'll always try to introduce something like that. And then what else do we got? We teased images of a Super Joe scaled Swift. That's that swing wing jet that Sean developed. We're doing an Amigo size version of that, as well as a Amigo size version, not Amigo, Super Joe, of the heli jet. And so because we love the Super Joe Unlimited line. Steve Stovall and Jason Shiremeyer are the guys behind that. And I mean, you guys, if you guys know Steve.
Oh yeah.
I can cuss on here. He eats, breathes, shits, and pisses Super Joe, and he knows Super Joe. And so I believe, and again, like I said, I've always been a firm believer of supporting the community because we're already kind of in a very small class of collector, and so the more we support each other, the stronger the collecting community gets. So
very cool.
Damn right.
Absolutely.
Hey, before Angelo asks you another question, what is your best childhood memory regarding your toys? Doesn't have to be G.I. Joe, but do you have a childhood memory you can share with us?
Yeah. God, man, there were so many. One of the, like I said, G.I. Joe, I got into G.I. Joe late in the game, so I didn't get to enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I had Super Joe after that, and then I had G.I. Joe in the 80s. So I'm a child torn between both of those decades. But one toy that I got for Christmas that I just totally went ape-doo over, and I want to get it back, is the Marx Iwo Jima playset. And I remember getting that as a kid. It was basically the green version of the Navarone playset, which was like in black. And I remember when I got that, man, I was just, and I still have a fascination with just plastic toy soldiers, but I had that and the Japanese soldiers in the elevator in the back. And that one just brings up a very vivid memory of me getting that for Christmas. So that would be it for me.
Yeah, I had the Guns of Navarone. So
yeah, and you could put. I don't know if any of you guys played with the 3 3/4 inch guys. You could put 3 3/4 inch guys there. So that was my secret headquarters for Cobra forever.
I never thought of that. You're brilliant.
We're getting close to the hour mark, and I still want to play my trivia game, and I hope you can stick around for it, Greg.
I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm locked in my man cave.
Okay. Jim usually tries to sneak out when I do these trivia.
Yeah, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah. Get back here.
Hey, William, you just joined us. I know he was on a live stream earlier, so I'm sure he
Brad Curry too
left that. Yep, Brad Curry's with us. GIA's from Canada. Thank you, sir, for jumping in.
Big Boss Jack.
Yeah, we got 17 people in the chat room right now, chatting away between each other. But any other questions for Greg? I know it was a quick hour, Greg. I'm telling you, man. We need to get you back on and ask you all the questions that we didn't ask you.
Just let me know, bro. Mondays are dead for me right here. So,
well, after Ace Allgood comes on, my show might be off the air. You might drop the F-bomb a couple more times and.
Ace?
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I think he's in Europe right now. He's visiting all the D-Day stuff right now.
Yeah. I contacted him and he said he'd be back, and he was doing the Band of Brothers tour with his dad. I was like, that's cool.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Did he send you any pictures? Like he had G.I. Joe in the bunker and G.I. Joe on the beach and stuff?
No. I'm sure he's going to take some, is he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is what's crazy, man, is, he's been sending me pictures and everything. And there was he goes, do you know a guy by the name of Eric Flint? I'm like, yeah, he used to work for Cotswold. And he goes, he's our tour guide up here.
Oh, wow.
And he said that he was on the beach with his G.I. Joe, and that guy, and Eric walks up to him and he goes, you taking pictures with your GI Joe in Normandy?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I used to work for a company that sold GI Joes." And Ace was like, "Yeah, who was it?" And he goes, "It was called Cotswold Collectibles. You ever heard of it?" And Ace was like,
Yes, I have. Yes, I have heard of it.
it's a small world anywhere around the world, man.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
So sorry.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, we ready for trivia, or does anybody have anything else to say?
No. Yeah. And Paul, it's all about Texas. What the hell am I supposed to
How
do?
do you know it's all about Texas? You watched my video earlier.
Of course I did.
Well, here's the deal. I was thinking 2 of these guys are from Texas, so they should be able to kick ass on this. So the only guys that are going to be struggling are you and Robert and Mike, right? But we've been picking on Jim for like the last 5-6 weeks because he hasn't known any of the answers. So
I won't know any of the answers about Texas either. So
I'm here for you, Jim.
insert your fingers like this. That's all you got to do.
Hook 'em
All
horns,
right,
baby.
so, as always, everybody gets 3 questions. There's 15 questions. We're going to go around the room or around the rectangle here. I'm going to start with Mike tonight. Okay, Mike, you ready?
Let's go.
Who was declared an honorary Texan by the state in 2015 for donating his vast personal collection of Alamo artifacts?
I know.
Oh God, hell, if I know I'm from Wisconsin, shit.
These 2 guys are raising your
Y'all are
hand.
going to be blown away by
Yeah.
this one.
I
I
totally
actually
do not know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who wants to?
Give it
It's
to the-
Bill Collins, the
Bill
musician.
Collins was a huge,
Wow.
Really?
Huge.
I
Alamo.
did
Yeah.
not know
Bill
that.
Collins, the singer.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Whoa.
his music sucked, but at least he had good taste otherwise.
There you go.
All right, Jim Egner, you're up. Elvis Presley's song, "The Yellow Rose of Texas," notwithstanding the official state flower of Texas, which is?
Oh, you better know this.
Come on,
did you
Jim. You know
freeze
this one.
Ain't
It's
got
not the
a
Yellow
clue.
Rose of Texas.
What does my town celebrate, Jim?
Say that again.
What is the city of Venice? We have an entire festival based around it.
Oh man, I couldn't tell you that either. See, you put me on the spot and I can't think here.
For sure. Of all the trivia we've had, I thought you would knock this one out of the park, man. I made this one for you.
Drawing a
Jim.
blank here.
Go ahead, Greg. Answer it. Answer it, Greg.
It's the Blue Bonnet.
The blue bonnet.
Blue
Blue bonnet flower. Jim's
We
kicking
have an
himself in the
entire-
ass right now.
We are called the Blue Bonnet City of Texas or something like that, the town I live in. We do have an entire festival
Blue
dedicated
bonnet.
to
Yeah, I
Blue
don't
Bonnet.
think of that. Yeah.
It's okay, dude. You're a Nacogdoches. We give you that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's barely
Brett,
on the
you're up.
planet. So
Okay.
Mr.
Let's
Brown,
see how
you
in
are
New
up.
England are.
63% of Texas tornadoes between 1951 and 2016 struck during what month of the year?
Oh, shit. Is this for me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit.
We're looking at you.
I feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
again,
Hollywood Squares, but only
What sucks, man, is I mean,
tornadoes hit year round here, dude. You'll have a
it's,
chance.
yeah, there's not like an off season and off season. It's
Yeah.
like the heat. It's like it's either hot or less hot down there.
63%
I'm probably-
from this month. Pick a
Shit,
month.
man. I'm gonna take a stab and say May, man.
It is May. It is May. You are good.
Robert.
Dang. Oh.
Robert, you are up. What is the major indoor sporting venue and occasionally held as the 8th wonder of the world? Just think
I
of indoor
totally missed
sporting
that,
event.
Paul. You want to say it again?
Bobsled? I don't know.
No.
I
What
have
is the major indoor sporting venue and occasionally held as the 8th wonder of the world?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh.
a venue. It's a place.
venue?
Does it still exist?
I think it does not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know
it
it
is.
is.
I know
I thought
this
they-
one, Paul. You couldn't ask me
Is
this
this
one.
Texas related? This is Texas related, is it?
Yeah.
Say the Alamo in your
Yeah.
saying.
I don't know.
A sporting event, man.
Yeah, it has something
It's a
to do with
stadium. It's a stadium.
stadium. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can play paintball in Alamo. I don't know.
Greg, tell them what it is, Greg.
It's Astrodome.
Astrodome.
It's the Astrodome, or was the Astrodome.
It was the Astrodome. It's no longer there. Yeah.
I
All
thought,
right. Hey, you're from New
They wrecked
York.
the-
I don't
They
expect you to
took
get
down the
any.
8th wonder of the world.
What is the
yeah.
what In 2021, tropical storm hit the Gulf Coast region and shares its name with the first name of a famous actor. First name. The storm just hit 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2021.
We
Say
get hit
again?
all the time, man.
Oh man, I can't keep up with them all.
I
Yeah.
know.
Anybody know?
You got a letter? What's the first letter?
N.
N.
Famous actor.
Famous actor.
Last name Cage.
Nicholas.
Nicholas Cage.
I don't remember Hurricane Nicholas. No.
Yeah, no.
You don't remember that one? All right.
We've
Back
had
to
we've
you,
had
Mike.
so many.
Okay.
This is an easy one. What steakhouse chain has its corporate headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky, despite
Texas
having the
Roadhouse.
Lone Star State in its name?
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yes, sir.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jim, you're back up. In Texas,
Crap.
in
was-
Texas, what dish includes bread sliced bread slices twice as thick as those standard loaf has been called barbecue's answer to garlic bread?
Oh, yeah.
It was toast. That was
Texas toast, baby.
Texas toast, baby.
Yep.
Texas toast is it.
You couldn't give me that one.
We're back to Greg.
Yeah.
Pilot Knob is an actual volcano near the Texas city. What city? Pilot Knob.
It's a volcano?
It says it's an actual volcano near what Texas city?
Shit, man.
You could get so off color with that.
You know, Texas is a pretty big place. It's probably out west somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab and say El Paso, man.
No, sir.
What is it?
Beaumont?
No.
That Beaumont?
I'm looking into chats to see if anybody.
I didn't know we had a
Sergeant
volcano.
Soldiers got. I didn't know we had one.
It
either.
is Austin, near Austin.
Wow.
Oh, they're making that shit up.
All right, Robert, you're back up. Hippie Hollow Park
Yeah.
is a park and a beach, mostly known for what?
Nudist colony.
Who's up?
Mostly known
Robert.
for what? Bonfires? I don't know.
Angelo had it right. It's actually a
Did
new.
I?
Leave
don't
it
know
to
how many dudes-
Angelo to know about stuff like that, man.
Well, it said Hippie Hollow Park. I figured the hippie kind of threw, you know.
I had no
All right.
clue.
Nailed it, though.
Hey, Greg, I forgot to tell you, this is where the show gets off the rails, man. We just
Rock on, man. I'm on this
All
shit.
right. According to the tall tale, what did Pecos Bill throw over the tornado that ended up in Texas?
A lasso.
A lasso. Very good.
I teach that. The
Oh, there you
tall tales.
Yeah, my elementary school teacher
How
made me
come
read
the
that one too.
non-Texas guys are getting the answers?
Well, you got Egner as part of the problem. That's
back to Medic Mike. Big Harry and Greater Fairy are larger species of what mammals located in Texas?
what?
Run that by me one more time, please.
It says Big Harry
I don't
and
like the sound
Greater
of that.
Fairy are larger species of what mammals located in Texas?
Holy shit. I'm going to take a wild stab at it. And I'm going to say bats.
No.
Orangutans.
Steer?
Jim?
Orangutans do not live in Texas.
No, zoo.
Well, I don't know.
Greg?
You haven't been to Austin, man. I'm gonna take a stab and say hogs.
It is
Yeah,
not
Tim's-
hogs, and Tim Cope said hogs too. It is not hogs.
No.
Oh, did he? I'm sorry. I thought Mike had
It's an
it.
animal that's only down in there. You know, it's got a
Armadillos.
I was going to go with
Armadillo, yes.
armadillo. Good.
Armadillos don't have hair. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
don't know. That's
Yeah,
why
they
they
do. Pretty
They're
fine.
fuzzy on the head. They got
You
it
do.
on there.
Scary armadillos?
Yep.
There's Big Harry and Greater Fairy. I don't know.
Yep.
I've never heard of the Great Fairy one though.
No.
So who missed that? Mike? That was yours?
Yep.
All right, Jim Egner.
Ah, crap.
Wow, this is too easy for you. What prestigious private research university is named for a businessman whose fortune was used to found the university?
Rice.
Rice is the answer. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Greg.
Yep.
After Microsoft and IBM, Which Texas-based computer tech corp, known for its databases, is the third largest in the world?
Oh, sure, I know this one.
Should be Texas Instruments.
Yeah, that's
No.
what I would have said too.
No?
Microsoft,
No?
IBM, and this is the third one.
Jim's
Oh,
got
shit.
people telling him the answers over there, Jim.
I know. I hear somebody talking
That
in
was
the
white.
Jim's like, yeah,
Jim's
Jim's like,
answer, man.
stop telling him.
I'm gonna mute my mic here.
So, no. You're saying Texas Instruments, Greg? That's not the answer?
I was going to say, them or Compactor. But
Anybody guess? Jim?
I would have guessed Texas Instruments. Actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
really?
guess was the same as Greg's.
Yeah.
It's Oracle.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Oh, who the hell ever heard of that?
Can we just use the Tinkertron? Bring that.
All right,
Tinkertron
Robert.
up.
Why don't
Robert,
you
here's
think
your
of that
last
first?
question. Last question, Robert. On April 20th, 2012, Austin, Texas dedicated a statue to what red-headed country singer?
Jesus, that is it.
Jim
That
knows.
guy that is it? Red-headed?
Female,
Redheaded.
right?
Is it?
It says
is it
red-headed
female?
country singer, and it is a male singer.
It's
It's a
male.
male singer.
There goes Reba.
What-
Yeah, I
what
thought
color
I
it
was
male
gonna say
redheads?
Reba. I was going to say Reba too.
You would never think he has red hair because it's always been gray for as long as I've known him, but
was George Strait.
Willie Nelson.
it is Willie Nelson. Yes, sir.
Willie
Willie
Nelson.
Nelson was a redhead?
That's
Apparently.
three brothers.
Yeah.
That's three from the New
That must have
Yorker.
been back around
New,
1940.
New York is showing up tonight, guys. I'll tell you what. Last question, and Angelo, it is yours. You can take the lead here with
Oh.
4 correct answers.
Mute Angelo. Mute Angelo.
This is a true statement. You can take the college course class ANSC 117, also known as Texas Barbecue, in which you'll learn how to roast a whole pig. What university? And Greg's saying yes, it is true.
Yeah, you're quiet now, aren't you?
Yeah,
Only got him to shut up.
Texas A&M.
It is
Texas
Texas
A&M.
A&M. Yes, sir. It is.
4, baby.
And by the way,
Yeah,
Sergeant
buddy.
Soldier did know it was Willie Nelson, by the way. I didn't pull that up.
Oh man.
Big Boss Jack said Dale Earnhardt. No. But 3 people knew it was Willie. So, hey, man, I really want to thank everybody tonight, especially our special guest, Greg. I'm going to pull you up, Big Greg. And if there's anything you want to promote, talk about, this is your 5 minutes of fame right here. If you want to give anybody your website or your YouTube channel, anything.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
we don't know his website.
If you want to put your daughter on, she could probably answer all that.
I just
Something
real
we
quick.
don't know, Greg.
Yeah, we don't have that bookmarked. No, I was just going to give a real quick tease. We did the DFW GI Joe and action figure show. We've been doing it for the past couple of years with the DFW GI Joe Collectors Club, which still exists here in North Dallas. Next year, we're going to be doing it at the same place. Jim was there this year. We have asked Jim to do a class on 3D printing. Hopefully, Jim's still on board. I can't see him anymore.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be doing that. But we're also going to do 2 panels with Daryl DePriest and Todd Pleasant. They're going to redo the panels that they did at the second to last and the last G.I. Joe convention, talking about all the prototypes and what ifs under the Adventure Team line.
Oh,
And
cool.
so they will be at the show doing both of those panels as well. And then, like I said, Jim's going to be doing some 3D printing classes. We're going to be working with Ruben Bartram. I don't know if you know Ruben. We're going to try to get Ruben in there to do some classes on diorama building, as well as David Howard. I think he's going to teach a class in diorama building. And then for the 3 3/4 inch collectors, we're bringing in, this year we had Ron Rudat. And if you don't know Ron Rudat, really great guy. He's the guy who created the Cobra logo, and he did a lot of the designs for the figures. But since we had a really good response to him next year we're bringing in Kurt Bazigian, who was in charge of the G.I. Joes at the design team.
Yep, he's been on the show before.
And then we're also bringing in 3 designers who worked at Hasbro during the 1980s as well. And they, at one point or another, I think they worked with each other. And so we'll have 4 of those guys there signing stuff, and they're also going to be doing a panel about designing and developing G.I. Joe for the 1980s. So we're really excited about it. June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the Grapevine Convention Center. If you haven't been there, please come. Jim made it this year. I've been trying to get Jim to come for years. It's a fun show, and it's kind of like you said, like I've said before, it's like a family reunion. Ace is always there. Steve's there. Matt Stevenson's there. David Howard's there. God, who else comes to that? Buddy Finithy was there. Brian Becker. I think Stephen Charlton was there, if you know Stephen. And then we're trying to get Beckman to come. Beckman's been a few years ago, but yeah, it's just a fun show. And then thanks for having me on the show, guys. It was fantastic.
Honor and privilege to have you on, bro. Seriously.
No, I'd love to come back, man. Just talking to you guys is like sitting around at the restaurants at these shows and just shooting the shit, man. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully, can I cuss on this thing? I've been saying S words.
Oh, we can.
How dare you?
Well, hell, Angelo's over there, but Angelo's been Mr. Potty Mouth, so I said, well, what the heck?
Yeah, isn't that my job?
That's just normal for Angelo.
New York, baby.
He teaches 5th grade, so he can't swear all day. So he leaves out.
He's molding our children, people.
Hey, Paul, we got to do a road trip then, brother.
You know what?
You
went to Atlanta. I went to Kentucky, so maybe we should both go to Texas this year.
I'll drive down to Virginia. We'll go over.
Hell yeah!
If you make it down to Texas, I'll go.
Yeah.
All right. This could be a road trip next year. Hey, maybe we can all put a table together. You know, the AOA table or something. And
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
Live.
It's a fun show.
Live from Dallas. We could do a live from Dallas show.
Yeah.
We can get some good barbecue and see those armadillos.
I want to find them fairy armadillos. I don't think
Armadillos good to eat, by the way.
I didn't get it. So
Now, is it true? What I understood about armadillos is that most of the time, the reason why armadillos are killed is because once they run under a car, they sense the car above them and they jump straight up, and that's how they end up getting killed. Not necessarily getting run over, but that they jump up because they sense the automobile above them and they hit it. Is this true?
I
crap.
have no clue, man. I just hit them. You know?
Sounds like you just made that up, man.
I'm gonna look in the back mirror. Hey, buddy, you okay? You okay?
Facts from New York.
So,
Oh God.
hey, everybody, you guys have a good night and stay safe. Greg,
All right.
once again, thank you for being
Keep
on,
doing
brother.
what you're doing,
Good night,
buddy.
guys.
Oh, and,
Nice to meet you, Greg. Take her easy, brother.
Yep. And
See
by the
you
way, I
guys
forgot to
later.
tell you, you're part of the Axis of Awesome now. So I know you've been waiting to. I know you've been waiting to add that to your resume because you know.
Man, how do I get that? How do I get that Ford video?
Greg's part of
Hey,
AOA.
there's a new set.
Awesome.
There's a new set to put together, an AOA figures,
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
special T-shirts.
Yeah.
Well, I need to send the laser sculptor up there to do a head sculpt of you, Angelo, if we're going to do that.
Yeah, now somebody gets to hang you over a boiling pot to get your head off.
I told my kids that
And
story
shrink his
today. I was
head.
telling them, I said, you know, sometimes my poor wife, she comes home and it's all you see is poor naked G.I. Joe upside down and being boiled in the pot. And the kids were dying. They were laughing.
You're a weird little man, Angelo.
We all are.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up, but Angelo, you can keep talking. If you want, all right? You guys